Hello, those interested. Sorry if I speak slowly or a bit faintly. I've just thrown up and not feeling well. But I have to say this before it flies over my cuckoo's nest. And there's also the thought going on which compels me that I must speak about this, that I strongly suspect a cousin who is now in the USA and has been for some years now. So where is the connection I've drawn? Like I was mentioning in the previous, I mentioned in the previous video about the teacher who sat me down on a sofa beside her and asked me, because of the misunderstanding of the song dedicated for the two other teachers in St. Joseph's College. So in 1987, I think, when my friend and her friends were in St. Joseph's College, we used to go to Alliance Francaise. And the place where one of my friend's friend stayed was opposite this cousin's house. And this friend's relative was also that teacher in St. Joseph's College, who later in 1990 somewhere, year 1991, 92 or 93, called me and asked me why this thing, misunderstanding or whatever had taken place. And another connection was that the two teachers who were friends, close friends in college, I had written this song about them, and that's where the misunderstanding. So one of them was my mother's relative, so of course, naturally, this cousin's relative too, and the other friend teacher, her husband had died recently with a heart failure or heart attack. So my friend's friend, who had this teacher also in St. Joseph's College, when they were in St. Joseph's College, I joined later. She was hurt very badly, just while or after we were going to French classes. So in retrospect, I suspect this cousin to have arranged this harm to be done to my friend's friend who lived opposite his house. And now my opinion, after 9/11, like he told me that his mother's prayer saved him, my point here is that perhaps my opinion too, that he desperately needed help to make me believe that he was not at all involved in the 9/11, by approaching this friend, and this friend telling me about a very religious dream, very religious, because the holy lady involved was Hazrat Zainab, Salam Allah Alaiha, and it was that she was to receive a letter or something in that particular some month, and the same month came the email of this cousin to her. But then I was feeling even worse, like my condition, the hallucinations, voices, watching, feeling, and the energy torturing me mentally and physically. So I had this dream that Imam Ali alayhi salam, Rasulullah is there, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Imam Ali tells Prophet Muhammad that Bibi Zainab, Lady Zainab salam alayha, has told him that it is very necessary that I, Zahra, be helped. That was some years back in Karachi. Now I'm in Dubai, and my health has been deteriorating like anything. And yes, recently when I was told by this unseen force or godly force that this person, my cousin, was involved in the Gulf Fair, Gulf Fair 1983 crash, 23rd September perhaps. So I learned about the bomb, or it was the people in passengers on air, in the airline, aircraft, died of lack of oxygen, asphyxiation. So now, years later, when we shifted to a place nearby this cousin's place, so they also shifted, and after some years we also shifted. So it was kind of nearby, and while sleeping, I would have these, unable to wake up, but I was conscious. And then I was getting these attacks that I was unable to breathe for some time. But finally, thank God, I would start breathing. And of course, during that time, scary time, I would have to say my prayers, what we call the four kuls from the Quran. And so I don't know, I'm relating this to now what the unseen forces have kept telling me, or the unseen force, that my cousin was involved. And during when I joined college, I also didn't feel that oxygen was going in my head, so I couldn't breathe properly, and I thought I had this thing, sinus, and I was taking anti-allergy pills because I was having these breathing problems, sore throat, and the headaches and allergies. And I had also started having chronic fatigue since the age of 20, I think, when I was in St. Michael's School. And so, yes, and my other aunt too, a younger one, she was possessed in my room in 1981 or 82. And so I was always scared that, of possessions and all. The Quran ayats and surahs didn't work. At first I thought she was a victim of these possessions by jinns, jinnis, spirits, whatever you call them. But then later she was telling people that this is her power and that she's very gifted and special. But the point was that during those attacks in my sleep, I was very scared because I could be possessed or something. So it's not surprising when that lady, clairvoyant in London, told me, "How have you come here? You should be bedridden." Because one of the reasons being that I couldn't find oxygen, breathing properly, going in my brains. Oh yes, and just now I had water, so I remembered in St. Joseph's College, having water, I couldn't have water to quench my thirst. I had to have a cold drink, and that wouldn't be quenching my thirst. But thank God for just one thing, the yogurt drink that my father used to make for lunch. So it was a very strange thing that I couldn't have water. And if I had water, it would not be really quenching my thirst and feeling dehydrated and all. So some people may think that I'm making these stories too much out of it. But there is a spiritual, unseen power. And thank God it's become quite rampant nowadays. And then for 9/11, this cousin did tell me that actually it was his mother's prayers which saved him from dying in one of the Twin Towers where he worked. So I'm after this switch, trying to find out what's happened to me and why am I not getting well? Why are my mother's prayers and the religious dreams not coming true for me, whereas his mother's prayers came true? That is okay. But then how did this happen, that in the beginning when I had these what do you call it, the first bouts of these, when it was starting, his mother's spirit came and telling me that my daughter will get married to Abbas, and this Abbas came from the United States. So could it be arranged by her brother in the United States? So I've had to wonder like this and question everything and connect things through the unseen power and knowledge that I've been given. The lady in London did tell me that there was a witch person who was doing witchcraft after me and my family, and to get help from outside. And another lady in our family was telling me that yes, it's true, this witch is veiled by 7 veils, so it's very difficult. And she could not give me the identity of this witch, because she told me if I gave you, there's no way I would be whatever is going to happen to me, I would flip and you would think I am the witch, she was telling me. And then the other lady's spiritual guide also said, how are we alive? He was so surprised. It's he's a spirit, a very old spirit, and he was surprised how we are alive, how we go on and get up. Just like the clairvoyant in London was surprised how I get up and go out. And she even told me how have you come here? How is it that you came here for your studies? And like I mentioned in the previous videos, some of the people this witch has been harming. They can even kill through cancer, I've heard, and in many other ways like heart attack, heart failure. And there are many other connections, like in St. Joseph's College, this friend I made and another friend I made. One of them, her 2 brothers were friends of these 2 cousins. I mean, this cousin who is in the USA, whom I suspect strongly, and his brother. She had another friend, two other friends who had come, or even three, who had come just in third year, BA, part 1, and then they just went away in BA, part 1, third year. And I can't remember, did I mention this friend? I think so. In the previous video, recently, she communicated that she was very scared and not to let out any of her, what she was telling me about this cousin's friend, Louis Sheikh. This cousin's friend's cousin or relative or uncle, Louis Sheikh, that they'll kill me, she was telling me. And then she had breast cancer, and recently she just left my Facebook account profile. What I was told is that made me think that they are into sex trafficking and have a drug ring. And it wouldn't be surprising if they have, paid these black magicians to do black magic also. And they can kill from a distance through black magic. Like in London, I asked that lady clairvoyant, I said, why doesn't this witch just kill us? So she told me that the witch doesn't want to kill you people, but the witch wants you to suffer and suffer in misery like that. However, this witch can kill. Again, I would like to say that if I say anything on the internet, sharing things, and like childishly, innocently, but compelled, I'm mostly bedridden. I use Facebook, YouTube a lot, and sometimes it gets out of control. So please forgive me. I didn't ever want to trouble anyone. But most of the things I wish not to do, I'm doing. And if I, other than this, if I suspect anyone else or say anything, and if you know you are innocent, please forgive me. And may God reveal this witch soon so that all the innocent people can go scot-free by the grace of God soon, inshallah, Ameen. I hate to think badly, negatively, or suspect an innocent person. Even just to even think is they say it's a sin or something. No, it's not a sin unless you act upon it, and I've been acting upon it by putting it on my profile, because I'm really sorry, this is very complicated, and it changes, and the force, how they control me, and then they control my mind, and then they make me believe, but there is one witch who's doing witchcraft, and I have to find this witch before she or he does more damage than what has been done and has been going on. And before that, I was not even able to talk like this, because it was provoking. This energy was like provoking anger, agitation, aggravation, feelings, emotional, very emotional, and things like that. So I was unable to really talk like this. And like even now, sorry, I'm exerting myself when I shouldn't be. I should be resting, but you see, I can't rest. And so I need rest. and I should be taking care. But this energy just is compelling me to, do more. I mean, self-destruction or too much exertion. Exert myself and keep myself agitated, restless, and things like that. Like deprive myself of proper rest as it has been, doing for so many years now. Hello.